And a very good evening to all my viewers. It is right now Monday, March 25th, 2024. It is exactly, what are we? We're 5:52 p.m. Eastern Canadian Time. And as I said, we're here at Angrignon Metro Station, the westernmost station on the Green Line, the western terminus. And yeah, I figured, you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful evening. Why not do a walking video? And hey, why not start it here at Angrignon Metro Station, which is, in my opinion, one of my favorite metro stations. Very beautifully designed, architecturally speaking. And we have a beautiful, beautiful spring evening. It is spring, has been since last week. And yeah, this is Angrignon Park. So yeah, as you can see, still a little bit of snow left on the ground. I wouldn't be surprised if there's still another snowfall or two before, you know, the snow season comes to an end. But on the other hand, this could pretty much be it. This might be the end of it. So you never know, especially with you know, climate change and global warming and all that. It's definitely very possible that this is the last of the snow for this winter and spring season 2023-2024. So yeah, here we are, like I said, Angrignon Park. And as you can see, the lakes, or the ponds, whatever you want to call them, pretty much thawed out at this point. There's still a bit of ice on them. And we'll take a little bit of a scenic route today through the park. And probably end up on de la Verdon Boulevard. Yeah, so beautiful sunset about to begin. And yeah, if you haven't heard the news, well, the total solar eclipse will be happening on April 8th. And the way I look at it, because I've been looking at the details, apparently the more south you go, the better the eclipse is. There's like a line, and that's where the best eclipse is in terms of the longest. They call it totality. And if you're above the line or below the line, you'll get a full eclipse or total eclipse. But it will be a little shorter than if you're closer to the line. And eventually, if you go too high or too low, the eclipse is only a partial eclipse. And if you go even higher or lower, away from that middle line, then there's no eclipse at all. So Montreal is interesting because the southern part of Montreal is right where the total eclipse is. But the northern part of Montreal is where the partial eclipse only is. So you have to be in the southern part of the island of Montreal to experience the total eclipse. And if you're in LaSalle or Montreal North, you're only going to experience the partial eclipse. So it's going to be very interesting. So my plan is probably on that day, Monday, April 8th, I'm probably going to head to maybe the South Shore, the Montérégie region, because there it's closer to the longest part of totality, where basically the moon's going to be covering the sun the longest. I think it's I think in Montreal, for example, it's going to be a minute or so. That's going to be complete darkness. But if you go to, let's say, Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, or you know, if you want to go to Sherbrooke, or you know, even Longueuil, you get like 2 minutes of pure darkness. So my plan that day is probably to head to the South Shore, maybe take an EXO bus or something, and you know, make the most of, could be a once in a lifetime opportunity, because I think the next one here in Montreal is a couple hundred years away, and it's very rare we get them here in Montreal. So, and yeah, so my plan that day is I'll have 2 devices with me. I'm going to use one, I think, to record the eclipse, and the other to take pictures of the eclipse. Or I don't know which one I'm going to use, and I'm talking of course about the phone I have now, the S22 Ultra, Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and the phone I'm going to be getting, the S24 Ultra, which is available for pickup. Those are the two devices I'll have on hand, but at the same time I got to be careful with the camera. You don't want to take pictures of the sun, so I might use my S24 to take pictures of when the total eclipse totality happens, when the moon's completely over the sun and you just see the corona, the outline of the sun. And this device I'm filming with here, the S22, maybe I'll use that for pictures as the eclipse gets stronger around 1-2 p.m. So I was debating live streaming it, but I don't think I'm going to do that because, well, the quality of live streams is not as good as, for example, filming a video or, you know, putting it up on YouTube later. So it is what it is. So, but mind you, there are going to be many opportunities for live streaming the eclipse all across the path of the eclipse. So you just probably go on YouTube and there's going to be hundreds of live streams of the eclipse. So I'm going to focus on recording a video and taking photos. That's going to be amazing. So anyways, for now, we're still in March. Won't be too long until you see some leaves on these trees, greenery. But right now, of course, it's the spring thaw, which also means flood season is coming. So if you live in, you know, St. Anne de Bellevue, shout out to Bay Sky Jack, or you know, near the water. It's usually April, mid-April, where you start keeping an eye on the water levels. But they're saying because there wasn't much snow this winter, the ice isn't as thick either. They're saying that there might not be any significant flooding. So we'll have to wait and see. Look at this ice, how thin it is. It looks just like water. And there's like snowballs on it, or ice, pieces of ice. Try to find a rock here and throw it because it makes an interesting sound. There's one here. It makes a pretty interesting sound when it hits the ice. Try to find a bigger one after this. That one didn't do it. But yeah, it kind of makes like an echoing sound. Try again here. Oh, that one went right through. Well, maybe the ice is too thin, but the other day when I was here and throwing it on the ice, I was making this reverberating sound, kind of like an echo. Well, we got some ducks here. Beautiful ducks. Male and female. Probably getting ready for nesting season. Alright, so what the plan is probably to... Oh, look at this. Never noticed this drain pipe before. Interesting. Wonder where it's coming from. But anyways, yeah, my plan is probably to walk to de la Vérendrye and Bishop Power. So, you know, just to kind of cover a bit of nature and a bit of the urban landscape as we walk sort of south right now, I'd say. And we'll be heading to de la Vérendrye Boulevard. So this is the peaceful part of the video. Once we hit de la Vérendrye, it's a little bit noisier. But maybe I'll try to stay on the path at least near the Aqueduc Canal. Very beautiful day. It's probably about 7 degrees Celsius right now. It's hard to find a good place to walk because it's all mud and soft ground. Oh, there's the ducks that we probably just saw earlier. There's my shadow. Yeah, so anyways, once we get to De La Vérendrye Boulevard, which is straight ahead, we'll be turning right. Walking video will probably be about 45 minutes, more or less. And this mud here, not much you could do about it. It's the spring thaw, as I said. The best advice is if you're walking through a park at this time of year, don't wear a good pair of shoes. Yeah, look at this beautiful scenery here. Probably be my thumbnail for the video right here. Yeah, so as I said, I'm trying to incorporate a bit of nature in this video, a bit of urban themes as well, and you know, try to give a little bit of fun for everyone, different interests out there. All right, so yeah, Angrignon Park, I may have mentioned this in a previous video, probably have, but Angrignon Park originally was supposed to be a massive zoo when it was first built, just under 100 years ago, maybe about 100 years ago. And they were going to put lions and tigers and all kinds of interesting animals here, but it never materialized, which is probably a good thing because, you know, I don't really agree with captivity unless it's like the Eco Museum. The Eco Museum I like because, you know, those are animals that are vulnerable or injured or are being nursed back to health. But anyways, the zoo never happened. At most, we did get a small version of the zoo. We got a petting zoo, which closed in the early 2000s, which they had, you know, goats and chickens and all that kind of thing, lambs, sheep. But that also closed down. Actually, the structure we saw earlier in the video was the entrance to the petting zoo at the time. See, look at trying to maneuver around. It's like an obstacle course. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, we're coming up now to De La Vérendrye Boulevard. Anyway, you can hear a bit of noise picking up. And once we're at De La Vérendrye, as I said, I'm going to probably try to take the path. It's like a pedestrian path, cyclist path. And it doesn't start until a little bit west. So I'll probably have to walk here for a bit. So it's 6:06 p.m. I'll have the gimbal with me today. Oh, we got a woodpecker. There's a downy woodpecker, guys. Not rare, but cool to see. There's a downy woodpecker. And lots of seagulls, of course. You can actually see there's sticks on this ice here. So it's pretty strong in terms of supporting some weight. Surprised the sticks haven't fallen through yet. Yeah, summer is approaching. Alright, so if you just wanted the peaceful part of the video, then now's the time, I guess, to end it, because it's going to get a little bit more noisy. As you can see, here's Boulevard de la Vérendrye, and Boulevard de la Vérendrye runs parallel to Champlain Boulevard, and in between Boulevard de la Vérendrye and Champlain Boulevard is the Aqueduc Canal, which is, you'll see it quite a bit in this video coming up, but hopefully it's not too noisy, so might even go across this bridge here and go directly to Champlain Boulevard. Champlain Boulevard, I think, slightly quieter, which is to the south of here, just over the canal. All right. And the good news is, of course, we do have a pedestrian crossing coming up, so we just have to hit the button, wait for the signal to change, and we can safely cross. All right, so we'll cross here. There's the 110. Alright, so here we're about to cross over the Aqueduc Canal, which is where most of this area gets its drinking water from. And the purification plant is towards the east down there. And there's facing west. And yeah, we got the path coming up here, which runs parallel to the Aqueduc Canal. There's Champlain Boulevard there, coming up. Yeah, so we'll be turning right here. And yeah, we're gonna, like I said, probably end the video at Champlain Boulevard and Bishop Power, which is just to the west of here. So here's the path. It's a mixed path for cyclists, pedestrians. This used to be full of shrubs and bushes, and they cut it all down within the last couple of years, which you know, I have mixed opinions about. It does look nicer. Well, it looks neater, but at the same time, it is nature that they removed, and it's kind of nice because on this path you're away from the traffic and the noise, and those bushes sort of provided like a sound barrier to the traffic here on Champlain Boulevard. And also, you know, it's home to different species, birds and wildlife. So, you know, I think they should have kept it. I think they should have kept the shrubs here and the bushes. That's just my opinion. You know, it'd be cool if they were to, you know, make this into a nature corridor or something to that effect. And of course, right above us, we have these high voltage power lines. So yeah, I think this is a good spot to record the rest of our video. It's kind of cool how you see here you have these shrubs right underneath this power line tower here, this high voltage tower carrying these high voltage lines. Of course, the tower itself is not electrified, but it carries the wires that are. Kind of cool how these trees and shrubs are around it. Yeah, so there's the sun. Now they say, you know, you're not supposed to put the camera towards the sun, or it's like your eyes, it could damage the lens, could damage your eyes. And going back to the eclipse as well, they mentioned that. But you know what, I've had this phone for what, 2 years almost, and I've, you know, taken occasional pictures and videos of the sun, and I don't notice any damage or anything with the what do you call it, images or anything, or image processor, or I don't see any, you know, when I take a picture I don't see any damaged areas or, you know, discoloration. So I mean, I guess if you were to keep the lens at the sun for, you know, a long period of time, it probably could harm it. But, you know, if you're occasionally doing this, I don't think it's going to cause any issues. Just like, you know, if you were to look at the sun with your eyes for like a split second, it's not going to really harm you. But if you were to stare at it for, you know, a couple of minutes, you could probably go blind, or at least damage your vision. Which actually brings me to a little story here. I was, can't remember what I was doing. I think I was looking at the sun. Stupid of me. This was about maybe 10 years ago, maybe less, and maybe a bit more. Anyways, I was looking at the sun, but not the sun itself, the clouds going by the sun. But there was a cloud that went right near the sun, and I was basically directly staring at the sun for a good minute. And I was like trying to fight, you know, when you look at the sun you get irritated eyes, and naturally you want to look away, but I was fighting that instinct. And what happened was, a minute later I looked away, and for at least a week or two I saw this dot in my visual field, you know, my vision. It looked like the sun, and wherever I looked I saw this dot. Thankfully it went away, but it was scary because I thought I had you know, permanently damaged my eyesight. Thankfully it wasn't the case. Got it checked and everything. I got the retina checked, and, you know, the back of your eye, where all your vision and visual information, it's like, you know, the back of a lens on a camera. It's where all the image that you see, all the scenery, hits the back of your eye. But anyways, there was no damage there. Think of your retina as like the film on a camera, basically where all the image information goes, and then through the optic nerve into the brain. But anyways, so for the eclipse, of course they're saying don't stare at the sun. I do have eclipse glasses at home. I actually got them last year, way before the recent rush. There's the 112 early. It's I like that cover on the top of the roof, and a lot of fellow transit fans enjoy that as well, you know. They like that. They like that style of roof, that cover of the roof in the front. That's in the earlier generation of Nova Bus hybrids for the STM, and the later ones, they don't have that no more. And as far as I know, that roof cover, it's an individual customization based on the customer. So I think RTL has them on all of them, or most of them, I think. Anyways, all right, making our way slowly but surely towards Bishop Power. Well, as I said, ironically, we are walking underneath power lines. Gives you an idea of these houses here. They're like cookie cutter houses, I call them. They all look the same with minor customizations. Probably a couple $1 million for these houses. It's ridiculous how much houses are. And good luck trying to buy a house if you're, like me, younger generation. Yeah, the future's kind of bleak. But that's the system, monetary system we have. I'm not going to go there. I don't agree with it. The current economic system we have. Alright, so it's actually pretty peaceful here. So I assume, these shrubs and grass and all that's going to eventually grow back. So it might not even last. They might have cut it down, but probably grow back within a year or two, somewhat. Bishop Power should be coming up soon. I checked from Angrignon, it's a 45-minute walk, so we were 27 minutes in, so probably another 20 minutes of video. I'll say 20 minutes. Hopefully you enjoy this. Something, if you're relaxing at home and don't feel like going out, well, you can bring the outdoors to you. That's what I try to do, For those of you that can't go out or don't want to go out or aren't in the area, it's basically my way of bringing it into your home or wherever you are. Maybe you're watching on a bus, on a metro, on a train, in a hotel, in your room, living room. Maybe you're like me, just walking around, watching the video. Yeah, so actually we're technically in Verdon right now. We're still in Verdon. There's Parkdale Street. That's because the street signs have the Verdun logo. I have my winter jacket on today. Probably one of the last weeks or so that I'll be wearing it. As someone that's sensitive to heat, I'll definitely be more than happy to trade it for a spring jacket and eventually a t-shirt. The sun's getting lower over the horizon. Alright guys, so hopefully, well, the way the weather is today, hopefully that's how it's going to be on the day of the eclipse. It's going to really suck big time if it's cloudy. I mean, if it's cloudy, we're still gonna get that darkness when the moon goes through the in front of the sun. That totality, but it's going to be more spectacular if the sky's clear. Got Canadian geese. There we go. Canadian geese. All right. So now I think we are officially leaving Verdun and entering LaSalle territory. And so you know, look, zoom in, see the style of the street sign. It's white, and over here it's going to be green. I'll zoom in here and show you guys. There's the street sign, yeah, right there. So you can see it's green. Oh, you know what I could do, guys, as well? I might even take Central Street. Yeah, I'll take Central. So instead of ending the video at Champlain and Bishop Power, I'll end it at Central and Bishop Power. Make it a little more interesting, because you know, we're going into the side streets, into the neighborhood, sort of. It's pretty much between here and you know, Bishop Power here on Champlain. It's pretty much the same as you're seeing now. At least if we take one of the streets into the neighborhood, it'll give us more architectural variety, so to speak. All right, so we'll exit here. So you can see they redid all here. They put like a bench, garbage cans. Yeah, so here we are. So here's Champlain Boulevard, as I said, and we're going to be walking on it very briefly because we're going to be going this way onto Central. Rue Central. It's always nice too when I do these videos right around sunset. You kind of see the transition of day to night, or at least daytime to sunset. This is a corner that needs to be redone. In my opinion, these traffic lights are not the safest, the crossing method and whatnot. Like, they're all bent out of shape and everything. I don't even know if this button works. Nope, button doesn't even work. See? So if you're a pedestrian, life can be very difficult sometimes. I mean, I know there's street signs, street crossings, traffic signals that only turn to pedestrian crossings. In other words, the pedestrian crossing only gets activated when you press the button, and if the button doesn't work, well, guess what? You're stuck. And you know, it can be very frustrating sometimes, and you have to play Frogger and try to dodge the traffic, which I hope is not the case here. I'm hoping this is one of the crossings that changes on its own. Yes, it is, thankfully. Yeah, because I mean, imagine you're waiting to cross the street and you're pressing the button and it doesn't work, and that's the only way you can get the crosswalk signal activated. Does this one work? Probably not. Nope. Well, anyways, so here we are officially in LaSalle on Central. This is where Centrale Boulevard begins. And we're walking in a westerly direction. I always love these street signs in LaSalle because they have the windmill, which I think they're doing. I think they're trying to restore the blades on them. And that windmill, by the way, is on LaSalle Boulevard, right near the Mercier Bridge, just past it, I believe. Pretty close to, a little bit past the LaSalle EXO train station. Yeah, so this is probably the shortest part of our journey, walking between here and Bishop Power. Typical Montreal taxi. Alright, so yeah, we'll cross here and we're basically going to continue straight the whole walk. the whole rest of the walk anyway. There's La Charité Street, La Charité. Oops, sorry about that. Hit the wrong shit. I wasn't intending to hit any button. Yeah, pretty cool styles of houses here. Apartments, duplexes, triplexes, you name it. Yeah, starting to get a bit sore here. Trying to also get my steps in, my 10,000 steps, my daily goal. Try to do that every day. And, you know, if I, for example, get 15,000 steps one day, about 5,000 the next, it kind of averages out to 10,000. Here's Angrignon Street. Not Alien, Angrignon. So now we're coming up to sort of the old town look of LaSalle. Sort of like a little village where you have a lot of commercial establishments, restaurants, dépanneurs. Once we get past the next street. Which is Alpine Street. So you'll see here suddenly we're going to be in the midst of some shops and markets and dépanneurs, which are, of course, dépanneurs are convenience stores here in Quebec. Some gas stations as well coming up. And they even have these old style lights. Check these lights out, guys. Look how old they are. Pretty cool. There's yeah, we got a gas station up ahead. And yeah, these lights are only in this little village. Nothing more relaxing than the sounds of birds and nature. So now we're heading the avenues. We got First Avenue here. Something smells good. Something smells really good. It smells like sausages or something. I think we're very close to Bishop Power. Once we hit the avenues, we're pretty much almost there. People got some St. Patrick's Day decorations still up, which was, of course, March 17th. And for you ceiling fan fans, keeping an eye out for some ceiling fans. If you ever want a clue of where to look, a lot of dry cleaners have them. Older restaurants. There we are on 2nd Avenue. So the avenues increase as you go west. If you want to know the current petrol gas price, $1.69.9 a liter. So basically $1.70 a liter. Which you know, doesn't really affect me because I don't drive. I take public transit, bicycle, and my feet. The only way it could affect me is, you know, the higher the gas prices, higher inflation, higher produce is, you know, groceries, and also eventually if it stays high for too long, public transit prices increase. But as an everyday person, it doesn't really have any effect on me whatsoever, which I'm happy about. I pay a flat rate every month for my transit pass. That's it. That's all. Don't have to worry about insurance or repair costs or gas or this or that or tires or. I mean, owning an automobile, hey, if you have one, hey, good for you. I know some people need it. Some people, you know, can only get around with one, which is, you know, kind of the fault of the public transit system not being as good as it should be or as efficient as it should be. But, you know, for people that just decide to, you know, drive for the fun of it, you know, I'm not that kind of person at all, never will be. Here's it says the Bronx. Apparently this area is known as the Bronx as well. Yeah, I think some people are just too addicted to their vehicles. Like me, I've never had a vehicle in my life, probably never will. Never grew up with one. And I got along just fine. Got around everywhere. If I ever needed to go somewhere further, I'd take an intercity bus or take a taxi. But if you're living in the city, it's not really necessary to have a vehicle. The only vehicle I'm ever going to have, of course, is probably a bicycle. But anyways, well, you know what, guys, I think I'm going to end it early here because I'm getting a little bit tired of talking, but we'll wrap it up here on 5th Avenue and Central. So, by the way, Bishop Power's just down there. I can probably see the end of the street. Not the end of Central, but where it starts to curve down there. Alright. So, here we are on Central and 5th. So, if you guys like what you see, always hit the like button, of course. Turn on your notification bells. And, yeah, more documenting to come.